Hey, good morning. So this is a short story time. I got that from my guy El Phantom. Uh, Follow him on YouTube. He a youngster. I like him, you know. But anyway, this is a short story time about the time that I believe that I met an angel. Um, it actually happened two times to me throughout my life. But the Bible, at Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2, it says, uh, do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing so, some people have entertained angels without knowing it. Okay, so at the time, I didn't know uh, who I was dealing with, but after the fact, and I thought about it, I was like, wow, wow, wow. Okay. So, I mean, angels are real, and it's very important to watch how you treat people because, you know, God is always we in the school in the school of life. God is always testing us. He's always sending people to us. He's always putting things in front of us to see how we gonna conduct ourselves. So, pray for spiritual eyes, spiritual ears, spiritual minds so that we can, you know, stay on point. But anyway, back to the story time. So, um, oh, you all know, if you don't know, I was all strung out on drugs before I started doing drugs at 17 years old. I've been to prison. I've been homeless. I've been, out there bad. Um, so one of these times when I was living in California, I was homeless, strung out on drugs, um, far away from my mom. I had wound up in uh, Fresno, California. No, not Fresno. Um, Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz, California. My mom was maybe all the way back in Wisconsin, and I was just out there, going wherever the wind blew me. God was just keeping his protective angels encamped round about me. He was just keeping me covered because anywhere, everywhere, I was out there. So, um, this particular occasion where I met the angel, um, I was homeless. I was sleeping up under a bush beside a river, and I don't know. I do know, but anyway, my foot swole up. So, I had to move around every day so that I can hustle, so that I can get whatever I needed, my fix for drugs, so that I can, hustle up on money, so that I can, you know, long story short, my foot was swollen and I could barely walk. Mind you, this is long after I had been to prison. I met God in prison. Uh, I was about 29 years old, uh, first time going to prison, and uh, gave my life to God. So this is after the fact, you know, after the prison experience. That's another story time. I'm gonna share that too one day. But um, so uh, my foot was swollen up, and um, I was hobbling, walking around the city of Santa Cruz, and I barely could tie up my shoe, out there with the homeless people, sleeping wherever, living day by day just to get high, just to survive. I had a heroin addiction, and I was a crackhead, but, hey, God's grace saved me. So anyway, I was walking down the street, barely could make it. And I saw what looked like to me a Mexican guy sitting at the end of this road. It looked like behind him was maybe a cemetery. I don't know. It was like a gate, and it was bushes, and it just looked spooky. So I was walking down a hill towards him, and he had a big sombrero on, and he had one of them capes, a poncho, right? And he was sitting with his head down. And I was walking, limping towards him, And when I got close enough towards him, I was going to go down the hill instead of walk all the way to him and then turn to go down further. I was just going to cut down and go down. So I get closer to him, getting ready to make my little cut, and he says, "Hey, why don't you come over here and sit down and take some of that load off your foot?" And I don't know what it was, I just felt like wasn't nothing bad gonna happen, I felt like, God, you've been watching over me all this time, and I done been in worse positions than this, so, whatever. I go over and sit beside him, and, he started talking to me. Mind you, I still haven't seen his face. He still got his head down, right? But it was a calm that had came over me. I was calm. I wasn't spooked or anything. So he said, back on the reservation, they used to call me a healer. So, he said, "Let me see your foot." Now, mind you, this stranger, never seen before, still haven't seen him. He just sitting there in a poncho with his head down. He asked to see my foot. He picked my foot up, put it in his lap, took my shoe off, took my dirty sock off. I'm homeless now. And he started to rub my foot, telling me about how he was a healer back on the reservation, right? He's rubbing my foot. As he's rubbing my foot, the Spirit of God started to minister to me and said, "See, I'll never leave you or forsake you." And I started to cry and cry and cry because I was in a backslidden state. But the Bible says God is married to the backslider. But as this person was rubbing my foot, person I didn't even know, was rubbing my filthy, nasty, dirty foot, God was telling me, "I got you. I love you. I ain't going nowhere." And what let me know he was an angel was after I finished boo-hooing my eyes out, I put my sock back on, I put my shoe back on, cleaned my face up, got up, and started walking away, right? And as I walked away, I'm walking to see if I feel the pain. in my foot. And as I walked, the pain got less and less and less until it was gone. So I turned around to tell dude, wow, it's gone. It worked. Thank you. And he was gone. True story. I'll tell you about the other time I met an angel. Another time. You guys have a wonderful and blessed Saturday. Just wanted to share that with you.